Why a Jayson Tatum Giannis Antetokounmpo trade actually makes sense. It's the classic case of two wrongs making a right. Jayson Tatum for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Straight up, I know what you're thinking. Well, actually I don't. Because if you're a Celtics fan, you'd never do this. And if you're a Bucks fan, you'd never do this. In that sense, I guess I do know what you're thinking. And in both cases, you're wrong. You need to reconsider. In almost every case, the greatest players in NBA history were winners. Celtics fans consider Tatum a great player. Same with the Bucks and their beloved Giannis. And in many ways, they're right. But with 2 titles in a combined 21 NBA seasons, neither qualifies as a winner. That's not to say they can't be. There's still time. But a change of scenery, and a situation more tailored to their skills, would help. In an Eastern Conference that remains wide open, but not open enough at this point for the Celtics or Bucks, here's why each team should pull the trigger on one of the all-time blockbusters. Giannis Antetokounmpo. The CDL till I see est better. What we've learned from watching the first third of the season is that the Celtics are at their best when focused on defensive tenacity and transition opportunities. Tatum does a lot of good things, but he's more liability than leader in those areas. Which makes you wonder, will he attempt to transition into the team's new style when he returns from his Achilles injury? Fat chance of that. Or will the Celtics transition back into Tatum ball? As we now have gotten an opportunity to see, the Celtics play with much more energy and unselfishness when Jaylen Brown is given the opportunity to set the example. Too often, his role as Tatum's sidekick has been to stand in the corner and watch his teammate put on a 23-second dribbling exhibition that has led to a bunch of bad shots. Giannis doesn't play that way. It starts with his rim-protecting ability that would allow the suddenly younger, more athletic Celtics to smother opponents on the perimeter, like they did when they had Robert Williams stationed in the paint to repair cracks in the defense. And when it comes to a fast-paced attack, nobody goes end-to-end faster, and with more crowd-pleasing force, than the Greek gazelle. More defense, faster pace. Allow Brown a chance to spread his wings. 3 strikes and Tatum is out. Tatum as the Bucks is missing Alenke. Like Tatum, Giannis has his shortcomings. Both are on the offensive end. First off, he's a poor perimeter shooter. Yet when things slow down and the Bucks need a hoop from their star, far too often he's jacked up some of the most ill-advised three-pointers in NBA history. Maybe it's because he's such an unimaginative ball distributor. Continual late-game failures led to the Bucks paying a Miller's ransom to bring in Damian Lillard 2 years ago. The future Hall of Famer made his fair share of clutch shots, but at age 33, then 34, he wasn't the 20-something version Milwaukee foolishly thought it might be getting. Lillard is no longer around, and the Bucks are right back where they were 3 years ago, with Giannis taking bad shots, or, worse yet, Kyle Kuzma taking pretty much any shot. This team desperately needs a turn-back-the-clock version of Lillard, and that's exactly what Tatum brings. Heck, he's even 20-something, 27, 4 years younger than Giannis. Nobody wants the ball more in clutch situations than Tatum. That's not always a good thing, but it sure beats putting Giannis in that situation. The Bucks have some nice pieces, including a collection of surprisingly good three-point shooters and a defensive force at the rim. That's the type of supporting cast that's made Tatum an MVP candidate in the past. Especially the presence of Miles Turner, who can take on the toughest big man defensive challenges, while Tatum stands next to the rim and collects cheap rebounds. Better structured half-court offense. Slower pace more suitable to the postseason. An elite passer who draws double teams and creates openings for perimeter shooters who can't do it themselves. The name even fits better on a Bucks uniform. Immediately, the Celtics would become the favorite in the East, with the Bucks quietly re-emerging as a contender pending Tatum's return to form. That's a win-win, and a loss for the likes of the Knicks, Pistons, Magic, Cavaliers, and whoever else is dreaming of being this year's Pacers. Yes, Celtics and Bucks fans, both teams indeed get better, but only if the doubters understand that when the other side thinks their player is better than yours, they might be right. So make the deal already.